How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And this one, I just wanted to go through a bunch of the teams here that the guys in the Discord have sent me. Got 11 teams to go through, probably all fairly similar, and the trades that we'll be looking at fairly similar. You'll work out the must-have guys that I'm looking at in terms of the cheap cash cows, and probably some of the keepers and mid-rangers that I'll be looking to hold this week. But we'll start here with the Bathurst Bandits. He does have 234k in the bank, and he has told me that he's trying to keep that cash for Nathan Cleary. And, we look at the team, he had a solid score with 859. Obviously, no Grant last week. Guys on the bench that didn't do amazingly well, so didn't really get to use the loop, for example. But we look at the team now. He's got Harry Grant as vice, which is solid. We've got Stefano, who had an okay game, got Arrow as well. We've got Walters, so we're not exactly sure if he's going to be getting named to start. It sounds like Kelly might be getting that 6 jersey and maybe Walters off the bench, but we'll find out a little bit later on in the day. And, Burton was solid, so I'd be holding on to him with his 39. We've got Tungo and Aiken there in the centres, which is cool. The only guy we're missing out on at this stage is going to be Jeremiah Nanai. And the only person that I'd probably be looking to trade out, and is someone I wouldn't have started with, would be Xavier Coates. And we'd have to spend an extra, 60k to bring in Jeremiah. But you're looking here at some cover on the bench as well. We do have Rocco Berry in that position, and I think he'd be very much serviceable to cover that centre and wing fullback if you were to remove Coates from this side. So that's probably the only trade I'd be looking at. We do have Schneider, who's going to be out this week as well. So I'd be looking to probably play Penasini in that one. Or, you can put him in the number 4. You can put Nanai in the Max King or the Bullymore spot. So, or you can play Max King. So it might be Randall, King, Nanai, and Bullymore there with Schneider out, unfortunately. So be aware of that, guys, that he does have COVID and he's going to be out for this week, it seems. So that's that team, guys, and we'll move on to our next one. This one's a little bit fuzzy in team 11 there with Bono. So we have Reed up top with 36. This person did score really well, even with Reed there. So 924. Does have Tungo. Doesn't currently have Nanai, which is someone that I'd be looking to target. As you can tell, I have a couple of guys that are pretty well, I feel, must-haves that should be scoring around that 40 mark and making us about 150, 200k with some upside for higher points as well. Low guys, I'd be looking to hold. Famore is someone that I'm not fussed on. If you're looking to trade him, that'll be completely fine. Sexton and Mann, both guys you want to keep. This person did tell me that they brought in Suwali during mid round to get Tungo's points, the 61 there in emergency 5. So that now creates a little bit of an issue just with the cover. Obviously, we have Tungo in there who will move into the starting center position, so that's fine. But then in terms of cover in the wing fullback and the center position, we have a little bit of an issue. We obviously have Ewan Aiken that could cover the centers, but we don't, that would be moving someone from your edge, which then we'd have to. Who would we have to do? We'd have to play. Yeah, we'd be able to do it. We'd be able to play Max King in the starting mids and bring Arrow down, for example. But that's leaves us pretty thin out there. When you've got Suwali, who's not actually playing at the moment, so that's something that you need to think about, because Schneider's out this week. Thompson, you don't want to play with his 15 or 20, whatever he's going to get. Suwali's not there. Walters might be on the interchange, so you've kind of. You're stuck for options now. With Ilias, you might have to play him. So just think about that, guys, when you're looking to bring in red dots just for 1 week. The 61 from Tungo is great, but the 0 that you're going to get from Suwali over the next bunch of weeks, I'm not even sure if he's going to get a chance to get back in the squad. So be aware of that, guys, if you're looking to make those kind of trades or bring those types of players in. Someone I would probably personally look to move on for more. I don't think he'll score that bad again. He could be like a 40 player, but I think Nanai can do that at 70k cheaper and probably make a bit more cash. That's personally where I'd be going. You'd also be able to do. No, you wouldn't be able to trade Ilias out. Suwali you could trade out too. At 350k, I don't think he's a good option at the 350. So you could probably trade him straight to Nanai if you wanted to, and that would give you an extra starter in your side, some edge cover. You also have that, we have that center. Yeah, so you won't have that, obviously, the wing fullback cover, which is a little bit annoying, but you'll be able to bring in a decent player. So I'd probably go Nanai in for Suwali in that team. All right, number 10 in here. We haven't got unfortunately, haven't got the score, but a solid team all round with Nanai in there. We also have Tungo starting, so I wouldn't be worrying too much about those guys. You got Billy Smith with the 5 there, but you have decent enough cover. We obviously got a great bench there with Stephen Crichton in there. He can cover nicely for someone like Billy Smith, so I'm not too worried about you sitting with him on the bench. I'm not exactly sure how much cash you have available, but let's just presume you have 0. The only guys that are struggling or we'd be slightly worried about at this point is obviously Smithy with his 5. It's going to be hard for him to make some cash, and obviously both for more. Other than that, I think the team's pretty solid. I'd be making sure you stick solid on Teddy, guys, if you're thinking about trading him. Sexton's fine. Schneider, people have asked me about him. It's a 1-week COVID thing. He played really well. He's going to make some cash. He'll get straight back into the squad. We don't see Fogs for a while, so don't worry about him. Stefano, if you're looking to trade him out, the only reason I'd do that is if you missed out on Nanai, Tungo, Maxi King. These types of players are going to make a bit more cash. I expect Stefano to score 50 this week and here on out, with the odd 40, maybe 60 here and there, and average around that 50 mark. So that's the only reason I'd move him on. Anyone else in this team I wouldn't touch. It's good to see Grant back for this this squad, sorry. But other than that, should be able to do pretty well with the players available. Obviously had Tuolangi, King and Walters on the bench there. All right, next one. S. Rich, so we got an 845, which wasn't ideal. 22k in the books. We had Grant on the bench last week. So obviously didn't get that score, and that's kind of what we thought would happen, that you wouldn't score amazingly if you're playing with Grant, but it got a bit lucky with people in the emergencies in round 1. Teddy as well didn't go so great. So a bit of a week where scores were solid on the interchange. I don't know, actually, you might not have played all them. To get 845, I'd say he didn't play all of these guys. Let me know. I imagine he played Ilias. Yeah, maybe Berry. Who knows? Maybe over one of these guys, which is fine. But 845. I'm really happy with how the team's set up. Teddy's going to do better. Hughes was great. You got Grant in now, and then you got some nice players on the bench. You'll have to play a Berry over a Schneider. I'd probably hold steady with this team, mate. If you've got 22 in the bank, and you get someone that's 300k for Russell. Va'alea, he won't be playing the next few weeks. It's a little bit annoying, and you have Schneider's out. So if you can get away with, you've got that sort of 18 players. If you can get away with the next few weeks of either not trading or getting suspensions and injuries, then I think you'll be sweet. And probably I would be holding steady this round. We moved to Slam and Salmon. So we had a 868, which is a solid score in round 1. Has already used the 1 trade. I wish I knew what this was, but we leave 255k in the bank. We got Nanai. Do we have Tungo? We do not. Not in the edge or the centers. So looks like Josh King's been possibly brought into the side, which is fair enough. Who else we got on this interchange? Bully and Walters down there. The 8 on the interchange and emergencies looks pretty solid. Starting team with Moses. Penn, I'd be trying not to start Coates, but that will be a little bit of an issue, it seems. We haven't got anyone really to cover, do we? It's probably the only stress here is the fact that we don't have any wing fullback cover. So again, looking at that in your team, guys, as much as possible. There's a lot of mids and edges and halves position and struggling for any centre or wing fullback cover apart from Jackie Bird up top in the edges. So that's probably a slight issue. In terms of wing fullback cover, there's not too many at a cheaper price. That's why I went for Berry, for example. Got Crichton in there already. I suppose you've got to get a bit lucky, and I wouldn't be expecting huge scores from Coates. You might get the odd decent one, but then prepare that you're going to get a 15 in there somewhere. But 255k in the bank. If you wanted to use a fair bit extra, you could go up to a Hamiso and upgrade Coates or someone. Probably I'd upgrade Coates over anyone. Or you could go, would Ilias be enough? Ilias would be enough for someone like Hamiso. I think he's going to do solid, but he's not going to be playing the Dogs every week, that's for sure. All right, Team 6 here. We've got Harry Grant in there, which is cool. We have Hampton. So this is a bit of a strange one. I have no idea why Hampton was brought in at 408k. I'd be moving on from him straight away. And this team does not have Nanai. I'd be bringing him in early. And you can see, guys, I'm not talking too much about any of the guns or the mid-rangers, and it's not something you really should be doing at this stage unless there's a suspension or injury. There's going to be a random team which has Brandon Smith, and that's when you have a bit of a a bit of a question as to what you should do. But the majority of teams are either just cleaning up a couple of your mistakes that you might have made if you think there's a must-have cash cow. And then other than that, it's really just holding steady with the guys that you picked from the start. And, the Lolos with 45 is solid. Teddy with 32. It's going to happen when they don't score as well. Sometimes you're just going to have to live with that. Schneider's out, so we're going to see... You're going to have to probably be playing Ilias or Walters there, mate. Hampton, we'd like to move on for Nanai, as I said. Would be a good idea. He's going to be highly owned this week. Sorry to all the Nanai owners that they've jumped on him round one. Yes, well, at least you don't have to make a trade for him. Like the People squad probably won't have to make a trade. Both for more. I suppose the thing is you could you only get a little downgrade from Hampton. If you had extra bit of cash, you could upgrade like a for more, but I'd probably leave it at just the one trade this week. All right, it's a bunch of ones to go. Scoop had a couple of things that he actually mentioned. Might actually bring that up in the Discord if that helps. I'll give it 1 second. We'll analyze him. How strong was that one? Team 5. Let's just have a look at his team while that's loading up. We've got Eli Katoa. We've got Britton Nakora. So a few interesting bring-ins for this one. I believe he was looking at JTB, so Jermaine Tunua-Brown, who unfortunately injured his hammy. We'll jump into there quickly. So let's actually get a little bit of an idea of how the Discord works anyway. We'll open that up for you guys and jump in and have a look once that loads up. Computer's been a bit slow. But the rest of the squad, we missed Schneider this week. We got Xavier Coates and Va'alea. King we could play if we needed to. We've got Nanai. We don't have Tango. Katoa is in there. You got Lolo, Stefano. Yeah, so a few things to think about there. Let's see what he said. So this is my section there. We've got the section I popped in team posts there. And let's go to Scoop. So Scoop's one of our mods in our Discord group, so we better make sure we help him out properly. He had a few questions on his squad. So there's a lot of people that popped in their teams, guys. If you'd like for me to look at your squad, then jump in the Discord group and post in here, and I should be able to help you out. So he's been going through, he's hoping for me to break the cycle as to which trade he's going to make. All right, Va'alea plus JTB for Walters and Tango. Still has wing fullback cover. That is decent, but we're not sure what's going to happen with Walters. If he gets a bench spot, I'm probably going to hold off on trading him in. Coates and JTB to King and Tango. I'd be going... Would you have center cover? What would be the center cover there, mate? If you went Coates gone... Yeah, you don't really have this... Sorry, you don't really have the wing fullback cover, do you? That's probably the issue there. I like the second trade better. Because I think King... Yeah, if Walters gets the starting 6, you pick him. If he doesn't, I'd go for the second one. We'll leave it simple like that. If that helps, mate. Other than that, team's looking solid. Obviously, yeah, the Coates and Va'alea isn't ideal. Nakora, hopefully he can step up being that mid-range guy for you. All right, last few to go. I like Rocco Berry, don't we all? Tig Wilton was a nice pickup. Starling, wow. I don't know if you've traded this week, but well done if you started with the both of them. Team looking pretty solid on that emergencies and interchange for sure. Has the two guys that I'm looking for. Crichton in there as vice. Adam Fanua Blake, two guys that should go a lot better. Schneider, you'll have to trade out. Well, not trade out, pop in the emergencies there. And then options include... What do the options include? Ilias or Walters, unfortunately. Probably the only issue here is we don't have that half because you can't really put Hines up to half. Or you could put Burton up there. You could put Burton up there and play Penasini. That could make sense, and you wouldn't have to play Ilias, or like if Walters is in the 14 jersey, you wouldn't have to play. Ilias, for example. That's one way you can do it. In terms of trades, it looks like you've either traded already, or your team's looking pretty solid. I like how the team's set up right now. I wouldn't be changing anything from there. This has to work. I like it. Right. This year's captain, solid. Between him and Payne Haas is going to be fine. Smithy. We've got Tungo in there. We have Burton, so I'd probably put Burton straight in there. Do you have centre cover elsewhere? You have Aitken, which is cool. I like the back three. Ilias, we have to start him this week. Unfortunately, we have... so Grant will play. Snyder can't. Yeah, you probably want Burton in that half position. Looks like you're going to have to play him, aren't you? which is, I suppose, okay. It's not the worst thing to happen. Other than that, I wouldn't make any trades. You got Thompson, you got Russell. If you had a fair bit of cash in the bank, you could move Russell on just because he looks like he'll be out for a while, but happy if you hold him as well. All right, a couple to go. Eat a cinnamon roll with 860 in his first game. All right, we'll pop that up a little bit. So, Pen, Tongo, Nanai. If you've lasted this long, I appreciate it. And if you aren't a subscriber, I would also appreciate if you hit that button, and also the like button would be great. All right, Browns. Yeah, we went the old Jamie strategy with the 3 Eels guys. I expect this team to have a much better game going forward. I'd be picking Haas over Pappenhausen for captain. In terms of anyone I would trade, I'd probably leave it there, not knowing what kind of cash we have in the bank. So that's that one for Eat a Cinnamon Roll. And let's go, which I'm assuming is the last one, with our Para Beast, 858 score. All fairly similar teams, guys. Just a little bit, little different things here and there. Tedesco, DCE in this one. 2 great options which will come good. Aaron Clark had a good game as well, so well done for picking him up. And in this one, I'd probably be starting Fermor on the number 4 instead of Russell, obviously. Other than that, I think you're pretty set. I wouldn't touch anything with the Para Beast. And that is all, guys. So I hope you all really enjoyed that video and you got a bit out of it, and the guys I'm looking to trade, and kind of an idea of what a lot of the teams look like, and where you should probably be looking to trade and where you shouldn't be. Round 1, you're trying not to trade as much as possible. People's team, I'm probably we're going to hold steady, I'd say. Head to head, I might only make 1 trade. My team, I missed out on Nanai and Tungo, who I both think are going to make a fair bit of cash, cover a few positions, and score pretty well. They can cover a pretty decent amount of players there in terms of those mid-ranges. I think they can score somewhere up around that and make me some money. So I think that's worth the 2 trades to start. But other than that, I hope you really enjoyed this video, guys, and we'll look forward to Team List in a few hours. See you later.